in theory, I can see this. I can. Everything looks fine. There's no logo. And then if I look at my YouTube channel, I just want to make sure everything is live. Content, live. Currently, let me make sure that this is gone. Oh, everything looks fine. So if everything looks fine, I'll just start. So today, I want to draw Diana from League of Legends. I have a reference. It's just the the concept art for her. So nothing crazy. But anyways, let me go here, zoom out. Button. Sorry about that. You can hear my stuff. So we'll just do head. Actually. I don't want to start off doing making bad habits. So probably have we'll have like hips right here. But this would actually be more so turned like this because we're gonna do kind of a leaning pose. Have leg one. Down, and then this leg is just straight down. Then we'll do rib cage. Yes, shoulder blades here. Arm. Crossed. Arm crossed. I like that. And then do like head. No, I would go like this. Essentially, just draw like that. Maybe the ear. I'll just put the ear. So that we kind of have. Yeah, I'll just put the ear right there. Nose. Actually knows here. Maybe not. Maybe more like here. Actually, because I don't really like that angle. Whatever, we'll just do that here. Basically like this. Oh. That's a little bit more opaque. And then I'll start kind of, actually, I kind of feel like that might be maybe I want, let's see, operation select layer. Can I do that? Can I make the whole layer? I want to move the layer kind of downwards a little bit. And forward a little bit. I think that's fine. Wow. Read messages from, I think I should have, if I can look at, sorry, I have to check and see, make sure that I have chat. I don't think that I think it's fine. Anyways, so I'll go through like does she have pointy ears? She doesn't. But actually, just because that's very Westernish. We'll do that. We're gonna kind of cover this up anyways with like hair and stuff, but we'll just do this for not so much. I mean ear to neck, that would be the muscle. This would be the front. Have that little piece right here that goes. What is it called again? I forgot. If we're doing perspective, let me see, because I know that I have a little bit of, I have a anatomy book. Let me see. So from here, I mean, I guess it just depends, right? Because if we have like, if the ears, if the head kind of goes behind the ear, that would imply that we're looking like downwards almost. So then you would have like you'd have like the shoulder kind of going up a little bit. And then you'd have like a little bit of collarbone, right? erase this really quick. It would kind of look like like arms crossed. I guess this would be. I mean, I guess we could also do like a not all the way crossed. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, collarbone would be like right there. We wouldn't really see a whole bunch. So if the collarbone's going to be there, then that would mean that this needs to kind of go down right here. And this needs to go up. I mean, if the arms are gonna be crossed, this is where things would depend. But we would have to go like that essentially. Then, well, ribs would have ended up here, so it would be more like this. They would have like the tiniest piece of the waist. And then this would kind of, maybe not that far. And this would be much closer. Like this, waist here. It might go like right here. A little bit of booty. Actually, it'd be more like, oh, no, actually, I think this is fine. And then since this is going to be kind of like in the way, don't really have to worry too much about everything being like perfect. But I think that's fine. That should probably be fine. And she's not particularly busty. Actually, wait, let me look. No, she's pretty busty. She just has a... No, she's really busty. Actually, in a lot of the art, they have her like she's busty, but she's in very, very tight clothing. And she has some sort of cover almost on everything. So I won't draw her like super busty, I guess. I'll just kind of I guess because she's from that angle, like, oh, this looking. Let's just assume that here. I'm gonna, because I don't like to have like super unnatural poses. I don't mind like a little bit of it. The problem right here is that it feels like this should be here and then this. Yeah, there's a little bit of wonky perspective stuff going on here, but it's whatever. Because I don't like the booty cheek probably wouldn't come out like all the way like that. Actually, this would probably go out further. And then you'd have like a little bit of booty that way. So anyways, I think I'm just gonna do this for now. I'm gonna erase everything here. We'll just put like I'll just draw her arms like right here for now. But I think from this perspective, we would have, because this is here, we would have a lot of kind of chest from the front or the side even. It would be more like this, right? So it would be like, actually, let me layer. That's what I prefer. It would be kind of like this, right? Just based off of the way that we're... Actually, I don't really want to like... I don't want to get Twitch... I don't want to get not Twitch banned. Can freaking... YouTube banned, so I guess I'll just do like a mecha piece. So it would be kind of like that, right? And then this would be more like, here's the top part, and this would be more like this. We wouldn't really see a whole bunch. Well, this would be more like this. Because she's not omega busty, she's just kind of busty. And so I'm trying to think. So this would kind of more look, actually this would look more like, I think this would be more like this. This would be more like this. Because realistically, if there's no arm here, right, this is pretty much what we're gonna see. And this would actually not. This would go like that. Because depth-wise, it would look really strange. So let me continue with like this. So it'd be more like this. And then this would be more like this. Because we wouldn't really see the cover of the arm. Not cover, but, you know. I'm sure that you're picking up what I'm putting down. We wouldn't really see the corner of the arm right there. And actually, we'd probably see more like this, given that she's not the smallest chested. But because it is Diana, she is... Actually, this should probably go in now that I think about it. This should go like this. Well, maybe not like that, but still. There would be like a little bit of curvature there, because we'd see more side than anything. But we'd get like a whole front-ish view. But she's wearing like a Omega skin tight suit, and there's like a thing over her chest area. So we'll get to that when we get to there. But right now, I'm not there. So, yeah, so if I go back here, now that I've added a little bit, well, we'd have this, and then, I did. And actually, this probably wouldn't go in so far. That's probably really what's bothering me, is that, so like realistically, it would be more like this, right? We would have more like that, and then this would actually go like here. And then, yeah, because this leg is too, I think that's what it is that's bothering me, is I'm just like, perspective-wise, that leg looks too far down. So here, all of this. Because it's turned at like a 15-degree, maybe like a 30-degree one direction, and then also like 15 degrees down, basically. So I have to make sure that because the leg would be like this, actually. And then we wouldn't really see like a groin or anything, just due to the nature of like where the camera is. And this would actually probably be not really, but this would be more like this, just based on the perspective, or at least what I'm imagining in my brain. And then for this leg, we'd actually see a small amount of it, because this would be where this faintly goes in, and then this would kind of come out like that. So there would be like a, actually this might, got it, because we wouldn't really see, I'm trying to, in my brain, actually, one sec, I need my book, because I do have a book, an anatomy book somewhere. Just kidding, I know where it's at. It's in my kitchen. I'll be right back. Okay. I had to go grab my book. Let me see. Oh, I was like, what is going on here? I wasn't live. Anyways, let me continue here. I know that somewhere I have a, so from this side, yeah, you really wouldn't see a whole bunch of that if I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah, you wouldn't really see a whole bunch of this front part, given the way that it's like turned. You wouldn't really see a whole bunch of that. it would be more so like you'd see. Actually, you probably wouldn't even see the arm that much. You would see like this wouldn't even really come out that much. You would see a little bit, but it's more so like this than anything. It's more so like this. Leg. And then from the front, you would see more so like, so belly button would be like ish. And then there'd be like no groin. This would kind of go to here. You wouldn't really see, because this theoretically, let me grab this and then make light. So this should be like the top of the thigh muscle, and it should go like this. And there should be, what is this? One that like wraps. Let me see. I've got this here. Let me. Yes, cat. What would you like? Because yeah, there's the band. Realistically, it should be like this. Big. Yeah, so it should be like this chunk of muscle right here. Basically, you have your glute and that band, and then this is like two different sets of muscles, but it would basically be like, this should be like this whole piece essentially. If I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah, it should basically be like chunk. But this, there's something wrong, cat? I don't know if you can hear my cat, but she's very loud. Very much so loud. But yeah, anyways. So we'd have that kind of. Because realistically, we would want, I would want like, so hip would go here, right? So hip would go here. This part is actually incorrect. Hip would go like here. Right. Hip would be like right here. Let me actually. Hip would actually be like here. Like right here, basically. And then this whole piece right here. Yeah, so then we'd have like right there to right there. And this would be kind of like here. I guess. Because realistically, if it was facing forward, it would be, actually, this should probably be more like that, I guess. But either way, we wouldn't see this part. Because realistically, this should be to here. Right? This should be to here. This should be more curved. Because we're not really seeing that much. There would be the, whatever the heck. These called the whatever. We'd have that. Really see that much here. Well, maybe more like this. Kind of. This muscle thingy. This would look very large. This would look very small. We have the spine part. I guess this would probably go forward, right? So this would go like, it would look like it's going forward. It's not necessarily going forward. Then this would just be basically all ass. Maybe more so like not necessarily the A word, but you know, it would all be booty cheeks. Glutes. I think glutes is the word that we want to use. What is, let me make sure that I'm sending the correct amount of whatever here. Make sure that I'm not breaking things. Seems fine. Yeah, anyways. And I actually don't know that this would go, this would probably more so like be like right there, right? And then if we have the muscle would go like right here. So this would be the muscle from the back of the leg. This would be the top. This would be to whatever's going on. So this would really more so be like this. And then I can erase the inner because I just really don't want it to look like wonky, right? Like I don't want it to be like, oh, why does her butt look so big? But there does need to be like a little bit of shading because, or not shading, but like there does need to be a little bit of anatomical looking. So yeah, let me go back to here. This one can go back to white. This needs to go more like this. And then we'll not sure we're gonna have too much going up there, but this looks a little bit better. What are you doing? So then realistically, this should be, these should probably be, they should probably be lower than, depending, well, I don't know, because I feel like this part of the collarbone too, like this is way too far up. Because that would be like, if you're looking from like a 45-degree angle up, this is more like it. I believe this is a little bit better. It just depends because I feel like this part right here, so this should actually probably be like this. And then let me hit the eraser. because I feel like the head could be up a little bit and backwards. It's just that the head is shapen pretty much. So this needs to go back to here, and this needs to not be so far forward. Actually, this is incorrect. Undo that. Needs to be this way. Like so. So then this should actually be this. Oh, not like that. This is correct. But if we're gonna have the face turned, then it needs to be more like this. More in. Just due to the angle. Like that. There we go. That's a little bit better. But it definitely looks like they're leaning far away. Let me look at this because something is definitely off. Yeah, it's that the arm looks really straight. I think it's because this arm goes out. Because if we had this just like this would make more sense. Right? This would make much more sense like this. Let me erase the ribs really quick. I don't really need this too much anymore. It's kind of in the way. And then this, you go out that far. Like this, right? And then this would be more so like, God, what the fuck? Just the regular brush. B button. Yeah, so it'd be like this. We'd have like some little crunchies. This would not be super visible at all, basically. We would see like this. And this wouldn't even really, this would really not go in. And this would not go out that much. It makes it so that this looks far. But I didn't really want it to, but it's fine. I can move book a little bit left. That'd be great. I really also need to move my microphone closer, maybe, so that it's not so this. That's too tight. There we go. Much better. That way it's not so funky and far. I prefer it this way. There we go. Okay, and then this actually probably needs to go more so like that. There we go. That feels a lot better, because if we go here, this would actually be more so like this. The hip would be more like this. And this hip would be very small. From this perspective, the hip would look very small. Top of leg. Groin basically like right here. Because the ribs would look very big here, and then this would just be like this, essentially. Pretty much. So this looks weird because this is not where I'd want it to be. And actually, let me move this whole... Actually, let me just delete this. Delete that layer. Then I need to move this layer forward. Move it sideways, I guess? Shift. I feel like I might need more space upwards because her hair is kind of crazy. But yeah, so this would... Oh, no. Whoops. This, right here at least, should be more like this. Arm there. Here's this. This is the arm over here. We're not going to really see a whole bunch of that because it's over there. So actually, this should be more like this. Erase that. Is there like lagginess going on in my... It doesn't look like it. It looks like there's issues on... What's it called? On Restream. Because let me move around a little bit and make sure that everything looks correct. I'm not sure. I mean, everything looks fine. Maybe it's just that their health. What does fair mean? Bitrate. Oh, your bitrate is out of recommendation for Twitch. Please set value less than 340 kilobytes. Oh. Is that a thing? Am I not supposed to have that high of a bitrate? I'll just put it at 3500 then, I guess. Does it make it look terrible? It goes down here. Let me make sure that everything doesn't look super poopy. I want to make sure that it doesn't look awful on both sides, you know? Because I am downscaling because my bitrate is kind of wonky sometimes. Sometimes it's really high, sometimes it's really low. But, okay, what is this? I mean, I think that this seems fine. Anyways. Yeah, so this should be good. And I don't really have to worry too much about the armor that, or like the chest area that much anyways, because if I do this in like a, let me do this in like a really dark. If I do this in like a really dark blue, she would have, there's like this big moon piece that she has. It isn't really, it's more like this. And this would go more like this. Yeah, because it's more like that. She has this big moon piece. Maybe not that large, more like this. She has this big moon piece that kind of goes like, yeah, so that it actually would go. I'm correct. And then there's like these shoulder plate things that kind of look like that. And this would have like this. Because this would be that. And then you wouldn't see the other side at all. Actually, this should be more like this. It should be like that. And then let me see. And then her armor here, we wouldn't really see this too much, but she has like a girdle type thing. So actually we'd probably see like this. Because this kind of would see like this really. This would be like much thinner, much smaller. And this would be like, there we go. It'd be like that. And I believe that she has, if I'm remembering correctly, she has like a, yeah, let me look. She has like a weird armor piece that's like right here. You wouldn't really see. You might see like a small amount of it. And then she has like a girdle type thing that would come out like right here. Because I don't know that we have like a look from the side. I mean, it's like this. Like it's actually kind of like a piece that's like a, I don't really know how to describe it, but it's like a armor piece holder, but because her leg is up, it wouldn't go up. This would, realistically, it would kind of come down here, right? So it would cover a little bit of her butt, and then this would, well, actually, so this piece does actually have like a weird curve, so you actually would see a little bit of booty cheek. You'd have like a little bit of booty cheek because it goes like that and then goes out, so you'd have like a small amount of booty cheek, and then here there would just be this tiny little piece that you really don't see a whole bunch of. It's just the outer side of the armor. I know that she has like these lines all over her. I'm gonna check and see, does anybody actually draw all of these lines? Because some of them look ridiculous. And some of them look all right. So let me go back here. Okay, I guess I can't. Diana, League of Legends, Google. Guguru. Gugure. No, she does have these lines all over her. Even in the art pieces, she has a lot of the... I really like her. What was it called? The battle something. Yeah, she has that weird cape. I don't remember how that works, and I don't think we ever saw like what's on her back for the cape, so it's kind of complex. There's just like this thing that's like sticking up behind her. Oh yeah, also she would have this like knee plate thing that we wouldn't see a whole bunch of the metal part. We'd see more of it this way. Actually, I think it goes like this. Then we wouldn't see too much from this side. But yeah, there's that. And then on her arms, she has this like plate that goes up like this. Like a, I mean, it's a gauntlet, but like not really. So it's kind of like that. And then her shoulder has this metal plate that's kind of like this, and then it would go like that. Well, more rounded, but like that. And then for this side, we wouldn't really see that whole bunch. We would just see this part and like this little part right here. She doesn't have anything on her upper arms other than that. This should be two little things. She should have, there's like these lines that go up on her suit. Like that. And then if we make another layer here really quick, she would have, respectfully, because I'm looking at her art, I'm looking at the concept art, and she's not flat. She's not flat in anything. She's just very compressed, but she's not flat chested at all. Even if you look at like the in-game model for the character, she's very, I mean, her thighs are fucking pardon me, her thighs are freaking massive, but her chest is very not small. She's not a tiny lady. She's just compressed. So realistically, this would have like a, there would be like a, like this. That would exist. Because if I'm looking at it, yeah, he's definitely not small by any definition of the word. But this wouldn't be in front because it's smushed. And you would see her arm over like part of it, right? Because the arm would be like this. Well, no, actually, the arm can still be there, but still, you wouldn't see part of it because from that perspective, the arm would be, I mean, I can't just be like, but there's some booby. It's not, realistically, that's just not how it works. Yeah, if I look at her Wild Rift, she's super, yeah, anyways, and then let me draw a little bit of stuff on her face because she does have, actually, here, issue too, if I'm looking at it. If I'm looking at this properly, roll up a little bit. Go up a little bit more, like this. This should be a little more, yeah, there we go. That feels better. This to get cleaned up a little bit. This also needs to get cleaned up a little bit, but mainly because it needs to go like that. This perspective is pretty difficult, I feel. Not impossible, but you know, it's because realistically, what should happen here, at least, I'm just going to do this in like a lighter gray. So this should be her, because she's got, her hairline is very like box, like very square. So if we do this from her ear, it would be like this. But I don't like the way that the head is turned anyways. I feel like I would rather have So yeah, that's what's bothering me. It's like this head specifically is frustrating the shit out of me. Because I'm like, oh, does the face need to be turned downwards into the image or no? And the answer is no. Here. So if I do like this, right? Where her ears here, she's gonna have, because this little muscle band should go here. Basically, it should go like that. She would have, her jaw would go here. Like there. Ish. And then this would go like that. That would go like this. Just doesn't have a dent. But this would basically just be her face, and this should have like a... Sorry, I was looking at my cat because they were making weird noise. This would be more like this, and then this would go... This would be like that. Right? If I'm trying to, let me see. Because the face should be like here? We have cheekbones. Well, cheekbones should be like here. Nose. Like I'm incorrect here. Let me erase this again really quick. And then I'm gonna redo part of this. Because, like I said, something feels off. Basically, this should be like that, because even though she's not super muscular, it should be like this, and this should be more like this. And this goes... Anyways, let me make another layer because I don't like drawing on the same layer. Well, this could actually be straight instead, but whatever. So if we put her, so this should be like the back kind of the head. Ear. Ear should go here. But this, I mean, I guess ear could go like this if we're going to keep looking downwards. So then ear doesn't need to be this big. Ear needs to be like this. And then jaw needs to be like there. This would be more like this, right? That feels incorrect. Oh, whoops, wrong button. I was pressing the Windows key. Whoops. So then this should be like this a little bit. Right? And this should be like, this should be the head. or the face, I guess. So like this would be like, whoop. This should be I, not that big. I, bridge, pointy, little lip. Maybe? No. How am I messing this up right now? There's something that I'm doing that's wrong. This, I know what it is. So this needs to go back, right? So if this is going to be the side of the neck, this does need to go back a little bit. We have this little muscle guy, but this needs to be the ear. And then the jaw needs to go here. Chin. Cheekbone. Cheekbone. I guess not cheekbone, but do like eye socket. Eye, kind of. Nose. Lip. You actually, this would be more like this. If we're gonna do that. If I'm gonna do that sort of thing, right? Because I'm doing perspective, like it's actually fucking up my brain. Let me pull something up really quick. I need to respond to this message that I've got. Sometimes you gotta be an adult, right? Every now and then you have to be an adult and you have to actually pay attention. Let me see if I have this. What is it called? Which one is which? We'll just do that. That's fine. Don't care. All right, let me open this. Oh, you know, just answering stuff that I don't want to answer. How do I move this over? I don't have enough screen space, dude. Oh, because the file is downloading at like the slowest speed possible. Let me see if I have a... Do I have anything that's recent? Anything at all. Open recent. We'll just do this. Yeah. So if I'm gonna do perspective correctly, it should be like this. All this. It should be like jaw, 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 jaw. Chin to the front. Should be like this, basically. Slight curve up. Just a very, very, very slight curve up to like here. And then this should be like this, right? This should be like that. This would be where your eye goes. This would be the head. That. Here is our ear. There is still the head, which would go down here into this kind of. Well, actually, no, this would probably go around. But this is basically what the perspective should look kind of like. Yeah, because the mouth would be like here, nose here. I guess the middle of the eye, where the ear duct would be. So it would be like this. Like that. Then you'd have like pretty much this. Nose would actually, bridge wise, would be like right here. And then, well, not necessarily, right? Because this is not necessarily correct. But nose could be like right here. Could do basically that. And this is where the hair would go. The hair would actually go like from here. So that's, let me zoom out. I don't do what some of my friends do, where they have like a whole ass, like, they have like a whole thing where they'll do, like, I feel like I could expand this up. How do I edit? Canvas properties. 6,000? Sick, it doesn't break. So that should be fine. Let me make sure everything is still working properly. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to do restream, so I don't really know how things work. I will have to like look into all of this. Actually, I kind of fucked up. But go back up there like this. Does she have, did I give her bones? Open, recent. Don't save. Let me close this. Still making sure that I'm not imploding my computer. But if I go like this, force mode. Does this have? It does. But actually, let me... Perfect. There we go. Sorry about that. I was looking at something, trying to fix something for a little bit. But yeah. Anyways, back to here. Does it show how long I've been live for? It does. Like an hour and 20 minutes, not bad. But yeah, so this would actually be pretty correct. What did I do here? Yeah, pretty correct actually. Here, let me zoom in a little bit more. Go up. This needs to go that. Basically, like that. Not like that. I'm very bad about remembering that I can rotate things. I don't want it to go out because that's not how the head is shaped. Like this, pretty much. And actually this would be a lot like that. Your brow would be like right here. Right? And you'd have this. Kind of. This would actually probably end more like right. And then there'd be hair. Because I think, what is What does Diana's hair look like? She's got that Sindel hair. But if I look at this, it's less like that and more so like there's these pieces right here, and then this gets pulled. She's kind of got like a widow's peak ish. Yeah. And actually, we probably wouldn't really see a whole bunch of booty. But I'm going to leave it there anyways because that's... I like that. Let me select all of these. Shift select these. Object, move the layers slightly over, leave them there. Actually more like here. All right. So let me, what is this layer? Nothing? Let me sort of redo. Wow, I just burp barfed in my mouth, which is great. So let me redo everything. Go here. Actually, I need to. Okay. Now I can do this a little bit better with a little bit better perspective, but I don't really know that I want to use this pen. Where was the one that was the sketch pen? Where is, was it this guy? How do I open stuff? Material name. It's there. How do I, material scaling for brush, blah 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 blah. Okay, but like how do I, where do I put it at? Because this is rough pen. Is it this guy? I think it is. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of brushes and stuff that I just got because they were free and highly recommended. So that should be fine. Let me get this. So I'm going to rough draft, well not rough draft, but I guess rough sketch, rough draft it. So we will do the, his head. This. This little piece, maybe not that. Then we'll do this. This will actually a little bit. This will this. We won't really see a whole bunch of this because this actually needs to sort of come out from behind. And then this needs to go down. And then this needs to go here, but then this would be where the shoulder is. So we'll do this. She does have kind of skinny arms. So we'll just do this a little. I know that we have the armor pieces and stuff like that that's going to go on there, but I'm not worried about that yet so much as making sure that I have the general shape that I want. And making sure that everything looks the way that I want it to. Because it didn't, and that will frustrate me if it doesn't. Okay. Got that. Realistically, her chesticles can't be incorrect like that. That is not correct. It would be more so like this, right? She would have like this. It would be more like that. So realistically, it should look like this. And this should almost kind of look like this. Since this is kind of hidden. But it should look like this pretty much. Just from this perspective. Then we've got this to here. 1 second. Yeah. Continuing. This should look like this. Leg should go here. Oh. We're gonna do a little bit of stylization. But leg should go here. Sorry, fixing something so that I don't get chewed out. 'Cause I don't like getting chewed out. Yeah. Anyways, continuing on here. Yeah, so realistically, we shouldn't really see a whole bunch of booty. And this should actually probably be lower. Is this? But because I'm not a wacko, I will do like, is the pencil that I was using? Yeah, it's rough pen. We'll actually like this. Then like that. Because this would be like this, right? It would be like facing like this. The armor piece would be like that. Just given the way that it's kind of looking, this would still be fine. This would go like this. There would be a little bit of hip, but it would go here like this. And then we would see the little girdle piece right there. If we're looking kind of like that, because this should realistically be like, it depends, I guess. If we, I mean, I guess if we did do the knee out, it would come out like this. And then this would go like here. Armor piece through on there because it's not going to actually go there. Fuck. 1 second, my cats are losing their shit. Okay. Fix that. Now, yeah, so this is fine. I need to erase this a little bit. Because there would actually be a little tiny bit of booty. And actually, it probably won't go like this, but that's fine. Not a big deal. And then actually this should be like almost covering this, depending on how, because let me pull her up again really quick. She has like scrawny ass little arms. the armor is going to go over a little bit of it, so you won't see a whole bunch. But yeah, there should be some just, I guess, because this isn't 3D, right? Because if it was 3D, then it'd be a different story. But yeah, so we need to erase this. Brush. It does go like that. We're just gonna go like this. We are gonna go like this. But then the pieces, the whatever is just gonna be over it. Because this realistically would be getting smushed. Based off of how her I guess body is shaped. We won't see the arm. It's kind of gone. There we go. Now let's do this really quick. So I think actually, let me make sure that this is, I'm just gonna go all the way down to the ground, I guess. Ground-ish. And then is there how does the select work? For the editing layer only. Sick. I can't. What is it like there's like a array that people do. Oh no. Refer only to this layer. I guess I don't need to. I guess refer to all of it. Fine. So here, let me undo this. Undo that. Oh shit, I forgot. Now if I go back here, get the bucket. There we go. Well, yeah, we'll just do that. Because I'm not gonna draw the rest of it, because this is actually not gonna be here. This is gonna be the cutoff, I guess, is like right here. I just had to expand upwards. But I guess if I want to make things a little bit better. Not like. It would be like this. Pretty much. Pretty much like that. Because this is where this would be like, actually this probably would be more like this. And this would stick out a little bit further, but I'm gonna have, there's gonna be armor and pieces over it anyways. So this will be, let me actually make a folder in here. Yeah, that's pretty much what I want. And then I'm gonna continue on with this. let me pull up F. Yeah, so pen. I'm going to continue on with the pen. We're going to, so it kind of goes from like the outside of her collarbone. So it should be like this. And there's like a little thingy right here. Which should look like this essentially. And so this kind of goes out. And then this comes in. And then it should end about the same spot. So like this. It should go like that. And then close in, I guess. More like that. Basically like this. I think this should probably go. Maybe it needs to come not in, but more like this. And this needs to get just a little bit right here. That should be better. And then let me, because this should be not brush, pen. This should be almost like this, where it's like it starts to curve up like right here. And this should be basically the same. So it shouldn't come in that far. And then let me be smaller and zoom in. Basically like this. Should be two lines. That kind of do that. I think that's fine. That should be good. And then her armor should basically just be like it should be like right here. So because there's two pieces and they kind of like one lays directly on top of the other one, we'll how would this work? Because you wouldn't see this. It would actually, because the perspective, you wouldn't see any of that. You would just basically see this. This goes in right here. There'd be a small line at some point, like right here, where it's the different color. And then this would be, actually this probably would be like this. No, it would be like this. It would be like that. I was like, what am I doing here? And then this would be, the arm piece would be like right here. And the armor piece, I guess, would be like right there. And then her gauntlets are freaking huge. So you would see like this chunky piece. Because there's a chunky piece that's like right there. And then actually it wouldn't really cover that much. Like this. Basically just like this. That's crazy. Friendly taste 'em. Shut up. Yeah, so like this. And then this you would basically just see like here, there. You would see this pretty much. So you wouldn't actually even see the arm, to be honest. It would be like, whoop, gone. And then this piece would be like, kind of like this. Actually, it's than anything. Like that. And then you would see the metal piece, part that sticks out. And the rest of this would be like gray. Sick. Seems good. Now, leg piece. 1 second. This. Now, if I instead open this, oh god, my computer's gonna implode. Maybe. Is there, do I have? Let's see. Then this. Is there? feel like I'm... forgot what I was looking for. There was something I was looking at, but I forgot. I forgot. What was it that I was looking for? Is there the... Okay, so her arm piece is actually not this. There should be... This it? Where is... From this? Wrong. I think it's this one. It is. That's old model. I need a new one. Do I have this? Sure, that's fine. How do I don't want to do that. I guess I can. I need This is all just inappropriate. So not what I'm looking for. Well, unfortunate. Because I was like, I need to see a model for this. But I can't find one. So it is what it is. But also, I'm very hungry. And I haven't eaten yet. It's been about 2 hours, so I'm gonna stop for now. I'll be back later. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. And go from there. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.